and something that thought I'd never see. The New York Times, according to the raw story, carried a blistering editorial published in the Monday edition stating that the editors are calling upon the Justice Department to open investigation into the torture practices of our former administration of President George W. Bush, with an eye towards prosecuting those who committed torture and other serious crimes, along with former Vice President Dick Cheney and other major administration officials. You're on a search. Take a step off the path that everyone else follows, because they only seem to be heading to no place, with mayhem along the way. Remove the blinders that have been placed on you by your friends, your schools, your government, your religion, and most importantly, your prejudices. Remove these barriers. Expand your mind. Take a deep breath and begin. The path is long and winding. It is all the same roads rolled into one. This is the road to the ultimate salvation delivered by knowledge. Knowledge of the truth of life, the truth of the beginning, and the truth of the end. Join me, the lone wolf. I will only point out the directions. You must decide to take the path. It is not easy. The pearls of discovery are immense. Yet the alternative is worse. Those who are faint of heart, turn back now to make room for the others. The path is narrow, and only the strong will make it to the end. Which one are you? Under a headline reading, "Prosecute Torturers and Their Bosses," the board criticizes the administration of current President Barack Obama for failing to bring to justice anyone responsible for the torture of terrorism suspects during the period following the attack on 9/11. The editorial notes that the American Civil Liberties Union will present a letter to Attorney General Eric Holder Jr. on Monday calling for an appointment of a special prosecutor to investigate what appears to be a vast criminal conspiracy under color of law to commit torture and other serious crimes. Well, my friends, this does sound like good news. Whether or not the current administration, which has had this ability to do this from the get-go, will actually proceed upon it is questionable. The lone wolf, we believe that when you conspire either before the fact, during the fact, or after the fact, you may be as guilty as those who are committing the actual crimes. So, we'll see how that turns out. And on another more worrisome note that could have dire consequences, China's leader is telling the People's Liberation Army over the last several months Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party have repeatedly exhorted the People's Liberation Army to be ready to win a war. Xi has repeatedly called for greater military modernization, increased training, and enhanced overall readiness of the Chinese Army, Navy, and Air Force. These repeated calls have alarmed China's neighbors from New Delhi to Washington. The question on everyone's mind, what is all this preparation for? Well, the possibility exists that the same people who have started every conflict in the history of the earth through one means or another are once again working their dirty little hands in that attempt. We know who the immediate players are, but they are the lackeys, and they may be the dumbass lackeys, but they are the lackeys, and they haven't got if they do have a clue who's doing it all, then they're a little bit higher grade than the rest of them. But the thing is, the same people that have started every war, either directly or indirectly on the planet, continue to do so. And a lot of you can say the military industrial complex, they like war. That's their bottom line. That's how they make money, irregardless who actually profits directly from that. That's their money bank. So that's how they do it. The rest of them, it actually goes up much, much further than that. And in today's day and age, this is the result of the money launderers, or as they said in the biblical times, the change makers. The money changers from the biblical times continue right up through today, and they're the ones that have destroyed and caused the earth conflicts from time immemorable. We can delve into this in a future show. We're still in the process of putting together the new computer system server, but we thought we better get one of our walk and talks out. This is the Lone Wolf. We're doing this in conjunction with Liberty. We definitely going to have more in-depth discussion. This broadcast will be on YouTube and also on Spreaker radio and iHeartRadio under the Walk and Talk. But we will be diverging off of the Walk and Talk at some point in time, and our broadcast will be entitled the Streaming Freedom Broadcast. And stay tuned for more in-depth studies and commentary with those broadcasts. We would like some collaboration. If anybody would like to contact us, you can do it through either YouTube or ioncitrus.com. Anybody with like-minded views and the ability to contribute will be welcome. But back to China's leader expressing their preparation for war. You can only take that hand in hand with what's going on. China has offered Russia the possibility of exchanging some of their currency for Russians in order to boost up their economy. And let's just get down to the nitty-gritty about this. The American Empire and the CIA, through their CIA operatives and other clandestine operatives that they have around the world. Unfortunately, they are not the American people. The American people, which most of them are basically good, hardworking souls. The people that are pulling the strings on this empire are no longer have the best interest of its citizens at mind, and that's what's going on today. We struggle to make a living, and all they can do is struggle to start another war. The war profiteers, the money lenders. That's their whole modus operandi. And once we realize where all of this comes from, we'll be much better off as a people. And hopefully we'll be able to make much more wiser decisions as such. But with China offering to lend their currency to Russia to help Russia out, it points to the fact that they are trying to alleviate some of Russia's problems. Russia's problems are totally involved with the declining oil market and the prices of the oil, but that does have something to do with it, but it goes much deeper than that. It has to do with the sanctions that the United States have placed upon Russia as punishment for their invasion of the Ukraine, which in fact the Ukraine did have an elected government before our operatives went in there and helped their fascist group of people within the country already organize a revolt. And these people wore the same type of stormtrooper uniforms that Adolf Hitler's troopers did. I said they were brown, but pretty much the same general configuration. These are the people that overthrew the elected government and then organized another elected government to elect one of them into power. The United States has a history of doing this over and over and over again. Fundamentally, it all boils down to the money lenders, but that's way at the top, and we'll not delve into that too greatly on this presentation. That'll be for a future date. But with this going on, and all of the other wars that the money lenders and bankers have caused throughout the Earth's history, we cannot take this too lightheartedly, or even everyone must be concerned, because at some point in time, someone somewhere may become ultimately fed up and losing common sense, like most of us have on some time or another. We all tend to lose it from time to time, and unfortunately, when these people lose some common sense, their fingers are on the most destructive weapons in the history of the world. Actually, they've been around before, but they're here again, and they can pretty much decimate the whole planet if some calmer minds don't step forward and prevail. Oil was steady around $60 on hope of strong U.S. data. Okay. Well, Brent Crude steadied around $60 a barrel on Tuesday under pressure from a supply glut, but supported by forecasts of stronger economic data from the United States, the world's biggest oil consumer. Figures from the U.S. Commerce later in the day are expected to show a buoyant economy, with third quarter growth likely revised up to 4.3%, despite slowing growth in other parts of the world. You know, these brainiacs we have running this country, this world, I mean, they know what they're doing. It didn't take, it's not rocket science. You put more money back. It's not rocket science, folks. You put more money back into the everyday people's pockets, the economy's going to start picking up. That's common sense, you know. And unfortunately, these folks that are in power don't have a whole lot of common sense. And taxing oil when the prices were high, that even does further damage to the economy. So you want to make it easier for people who are having difficulty making ends meet to be able to just to survive. And once they've achieved that goal with a roof over their head and food in their stomach, then they'll see how much more money they have to put back into the economy and get the whole economy going again. We can only hope that this common sense foray into the mass media will be collectively obtained and put to good use. The Ukraine parliament votes to end non-aligned status in NATO move. Ukraine parliament backed a proposal to cancel the country's non-aligned status, a decision that Russia calls a dangerous step towards seeking membership of NATO. The legislation put forth by President Petro Poroshenko was supported today by 303 of the 357 lawmakers in the chamber, hours after the announcements of the fresh talks to try to end the conflict with pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine. The bill will help Ukraine as it seeks to achieve all criteria of membership for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Well, this is another stumbling block. This is the attempt to give legitimacy to the overthrow of that elected government. And another ill-advised move by Ukraine, which is basically backed by the United States. And we keep painting this corner smaller and smaller and holding our breath, hoping that someone doesn't lose it. Not good. This Tuesday, December 23rd, 2014. And the weather up along the northeastern seaboard and the eastern states all the way down into, it looks like Georgia. It's not going to be the best weather, especially up towards the northern part of the country. 2 days before Christmas, and it'll be all nice and snuggly for those folks living in up that area of the country. A typical type of Christmas holiday. For the house in Florida, the weather's a little bit better, although it may be raining somewhat. The high this morning, Tuesday morning, is around 68 degrees, so pretty comfortable. So get out and do your last minute shopping, and Along With wishes you the best of holidays and enjoy it with all your loved ones.